Carlo Acutis' rosary life with the Virgin Mary was so powerful that the rosary completely transformed his relationship with heaven itself. Carlo Acutis didn't just pray the rosary, he lived it in ways that would shock even the most devoted Catholics. If you're ready to discover how this young saint turned his daily rosary into a direct conversation with Mary herself, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single detail of what's coming next. The story you're about to hear challenges everything we think we know about youth and holiness. Carlo's secret wasn't just in the beads he held, but in something far more mysterious that happened each time he prayed. Stay with me, because what happened next will change how you see the rosary forever. Milan, Italy, 1991. A young boy was born who would revolutionize how we understand Marian devotion. But here's what most people don't know about Carlo Acutis. His first encounter with the rosary wasn't through his parents or school. It was through something completely unexpected. Picture this, a 7-year-old Carlo walking past a small church in Milan. Something invisible seemed to pull him inside. The elderly woman praying in the front pew was holding something that caught his attention immediately. Those small beads moving through her weathered fingers seemed to create an atmosphere of peace that young Carlo had never experienced. But wait, there's more to this story that will surprise you. Carlo didn't just observe that day. He approached the woman with a boldness that startled her. "What are those beads doing to you?" he asked with the innocence only a child possesses. Her answer would plant a seed that would grow into one of the most beautiful rosary devotions the church has ever witnessed. That evening, Carlo made a request to his mother that would puzzle her for years. He didn't ask for toys or games. He asked for his own set of rosary beads. Little did she know she was about to witness something extraordinary unfold in their home. Here's where the story takes an interesting turn. Carlo's mother, Antonia, initially thought this was just a phase. Many children show temporary interest in religious items. But what happened over the next few weeks defied all her expectations. Every morning at exactly 6:30 a.m., something remarkable started happening in the Acutis household. While other teenagers struggled to wake up for school, Carlo would rise naturally, as if summoned by an invisible hand. His destination was always the same, a small corner of his room where he had created something special. You might think it was just a simple prayer corner, but you'd be wrong. Carlo had arranged his space with the precision of an artist and the devotion of a mystic. A small image of Our Lady of Fatima faced his bed, surrounded by candles that he would light each morning. The rosary beads lay carefully arranged beside a notebook that would later reveal secrets about his prayer life. But here's what his family noticed that gave them chills. Carlo never needed an alarm clock for his rosary time. Something was waking him up, and they could never figure out what it was. Have you ever experienced something similar in your own prayer life? Drop a comment below and share your experience. I'd love to hear how Mary has called to you in unexpected ways. The transformation in Carlo wasn't gradual. It was immediate and obvious to everyone around him. His teachers at school began noticing changes in his behavior that they couldn't explain. He became more patient with difficult classmates, more focused during lessons, and strangely peaceful during stressful moments. His mother Antonia later revealed in interviews something that will make you reconsider the power of consistent rosary prayer. She said that Carlo seemed to carry an invisible shield of protection around him. Bullies at school would inexplicably leave him alone. Difficult situations would resolve themselves when Carlo was present. It was as if Mary herself was walking beside him throughout his day. This is where Carlo's story becomes truly extraordinary, and why thousands of Catholics worldwide are rediscovering the rosary through his example. What Carlo did during his daily rosary wasn't just reciting prayers, he was having actual conversations with the Virgin Mary. His childhood friend Matteo witnessed something during a sleepover that he still talks about today. Around midnight, he woke up to find Carlo sitting by the window, rosary in hand, speaking in whispers. But here's the shocking part. Matteo swears he could hear two voices in that conversation. When Matteo asked Carlo about it the next morning, the response he got will make your heart race. Carlo simply smiled and said, "She likes to talk at night when the world is quiet. That's when she shares her secrets." What secrets could the Mother of God be sharing with a young boy? The answer lies in something Carlo started doing that no one expected. Carlo began writing down everything he experienced during his rosary prayers. These weren't just spiritual reflections, they were detailed accounts of what he claimed were direct communications with Mary. The notebook, discovered after his death, contains insights about Mary's role in salvation that theologians are still studying today. But here's what will really capture your attention. Carlo's notes reveal that Mary had been preparing him for a specific mission from the time he was very young. Each decade of the Rosary wasn't just a prayer for him, it was a lesson in how to bring heaven closer to earth. If you're finding this story as fascinating as I am, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear about Carlo's incredible devotion to Mary. Here's something that will challenge everything you think you know about technology and prayer. Carlo Acutis, who would later become known as the patron saint of the internet, found a way to combine his love for computers with his devotion to the Rosary that was absolutely revolutionary. While other teenagers his age were using computers for games and social media, Carlo was creating something unprecedented. He developed a digital rosary program that helped people pray with the same intensity and focus that he experienced daily. But the real genius wasn't in the technology. It was in how he understood Mary's message for the modern world. Carlo realized something that most adults missed. Young people weren't rejecting prayer, they were rejecting boring prayer. His digital innovations weren't meant to replace traditional devotion, but to make it accessible to a generation that communicated differently. The shocking truth is that Carlo's most powerful rosary moments had nothing to do with technology at all. They happened in the silence of his room, with just him, his beads, and the presence he felt so strongly that visitors to his home would comment on the peaceful atmosphere. His programming teacher at school noticed something unusual about Carlo's approach to coding. While other students worked frantically and often became frustrated with errors, Carlo maintained an unusual calm. When asked about his secret, Carlo's answer reveals the connection between his prayer life and everything else he did. "Every morning Mary teaches me patience through the Rosary," he would say. "When you talk to the Mother of Jesus every day, everything else becomes easier." What happened next in Carlo's story will show you why his devotion to Mary was inseparable from his love for Jesus in the Eucharist. This connection holds a key that could transform your own prayer life in ways you never expected. Carlo discovered something that most Catholics overlook. Mary's primary role is to lead us to her Son, her. His rosary prayers weren't an end in themselves. They were preparation for something greater. Every morning after his private conversation with Mary, Carlo would walk to the nearest church for daily Mass. But here's where his story becomes truly miraculous. Carlo began documenting Eucharistic miracles from around the world, creating a comprehensive catalogue that would eventually become a traveling exhibition. The inspiration for this massive project came directly from his rosary prayers with Mary. During one particular morning, Rosary, Carlo claimed that Mary showed him a vision of all the places around the world where Jesus had manifested himself miraculously in the Eucharist. She tasked him with bringing these stories to light, showing how Jesus continues to reveal himself to those who seek him with sincere hearts. The timing of this revelation was perfect. Carlo already had the technical skills to create a digital presentation of these miracles. What he didn't have was the spiritual maturity to understand why Mary had chosen him for this mission. That understanding would come through continued daily rosary prayer and an event that would test his faith in ways he never expected. October 2006. Carlo began experiencing symptoms that would lead to a diagnosis that shocked everyone who knew him: leukemia. A 15-year-old boy who had dedicated his entire conscious life to serving God and honoring Mary was facing a battle that would require every ounce of faith he had developed through years of daily rosary prayer. Here's what happened that will make you reconsider the power of Marian devotion in times of crisis. Instead of abandoning his prayer routine, Carlo intensified it. His mother found him one morning praying the rosary with tears streaming down his face. But these weren't tears of despair, they were tears of gratitude. When she asked what he was grateful for, Carlo's response reveals the depth of his relationship with Mary. "She's been preparing me for this moment my entire life." Every rosary we prayed together was getting me ready to offer this suffering for souls who don't know Jesus. The doctors were amazed by Carlo's attitude during treatment. While other patients his age struggled with anger and depression, Carlo maintained a peace that seemed supernatural. He continued his daily rosary, even when he was too weak to hold the beads properly. But here's the most remarkable part of his final days. Carlo asked his mother to bring his laptop to the hospital so he could continue working on his Eucharistic Miracles exhibition. When she protested that he needed rest, his response will give you chills. "Mary told me during this morning's rosary that this work is more important than my recovery. Souls are at stake." What Carlo did during his last days on earth proves that his relationship with Mary through the rosary was authentic and powerful, beyond anything we could imagine. As his physical condition deteriorated, his spiritual insight seemed to grow stronger. Take a moment to think about this. How would you face terminal illness at 15 years old? Carlo's response came directly from the confidence he had built through years of daily conversation with the Mother of God. 3 days before his death, Carlo made a request that stunned his family. He asked to pray one final rosary with everyone present: parents, friends, medical staff, anyone who wanted to join. What happened during that prayer session was witnessed by over 20 people and defied medical explanation. As Carlo began the first decade, his voice grew stronger despite his weakened condition. By the third decade, several nurses reported feeling an unusual warmth in the room. During the final Hail Mary, multiple witnesses claimed to see a soft light surrounding Carlo's bed. But the most extraordinary moment came when Carlo finished the rosary. He looked directly at his mother and said, "She's here. Mary is here. And she's not alone. Jesus is with her and they're both smiling." Carlo Acutis died on October 12, 2006, feast day of Our Lady of the Pillar. His final words were a whispered "Hail Mary" that seemed to fade into silence as gently as a prayer dissolves into heaven. Here's what will truly amaze you about Carlo's story. His death was not the end of his influence, but the beginning of something even more powerful. The rosary devotion he practiced daily has inspired millions of Catholics worldwide to rediscover the beauty of Marian prayer. His mother, Antonia, made a decision that continues to impact lives today. She preserved Carlo's room exactly as he left it, including his prayer corner with the rosary beads he used every morning. Pilgrims from around the world now visit this sacred space, and many report experiencing the same peaceful presence that Carlo's family noticed during his lifetime. But the real miracle is what's happening in the hearts of young people who learn about Carlo's story. Youth groups across the globe have started Carlo Acutis rosary circles where teenagers gather to pray as he did, with technology as a tool, but with hearts focused entirely on Mary and Jesus. The question that challenges all of us is simple. If a 15-year-old boy could develop such an intimate relationship with Mary through daily rosary prayer, what's stopping us from doing the same? Vatican investigations into Carlo's life have uncovered something remarkable about his prayer journals. The theological insights contained in his notes about the rosary demonstrate a level of mystical understanding typically found only in saints who lived much longer lives. As we reach the conclusion of Carlo's incredible story, there's something I need to ask you. After learning about this young saint's devotion to Mary through the rosary, what's your next step going to be? Carlo's example shows us that sanctity isn't about age, education, or special circumstances. It's about consistency, sincerity, and trust in Mary's maternal guidance. His daily rosary wasn't just a prayer routine, it was a relationship that shaped every aspect of his life. If this video has touched your heart, I want you to do something right here. In the comments below, tell me one thing you're going to change about your own prayer life after hearing Carlo's story. Are you going to start praying the rosary daily? Will you approach Mary with more confidence? Share your commitment, and let's encourage each other in this beautiful devotion. Don't let this inspiration fade away like so many good intentions do. Carlo's relationship with Mary began with a simple decision to pray consistently. Your transformation can begin the same way right after you finish watching this video. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. We're building a community of Catholics who want to live their faith with the same intensity and joy that Carlo demonstrated every day of his life. The most beautiful part of Carlo's legacy is that it's not locked in the past. It's available to you right here. The same Mary who spoke to him in the quiet moments of his morning rosary is waiting to speak to you. The same Jesus who inspired his Eucharistic devotion wants to transform your life as well. Carlo Acutis showed us that sanctity is possible in the modern world, that technology and tradition can work together, and that Mary's love is as real today as it was 2,000 years ago. His daily rosary was the foundation of everything else. His peace, his purpose, his courage, and ultimately, his place in heaven. Share this video with someone who needs to hear about Carlo's beautiful relationship with Mary. Like it if it's inspired you to take your own rosary devotion more seriously. And remember, the beads in your hand can become a direct line to heaven, just as they were for this remarkable young saint. The conversation between Carlo and Mary continues in the hearts of everyone who takes up the rosary with genuine devotion. Your conversation can begin today. The only question remaining is, are you ready to let Mary transform your life the way she transformed his? O blessed Carlo Acutis, faithful servant of God, you discovered in the rosary a ladder to heaven, a prayer that carried you ever closer to Jesus through the hands of Mary. From your youth, you understood that the rosary is not a burden, but a chain of love binding the heart of a child to the heart of a mother. Saint Carlo, you prayed the rosary with devotion, finding in every bead the strength to resist temptation, the light to walk in purity, and the courage to stand for truth in a world full of confusion. Teach me also to love the rosary as you did, not as a ritual of words, but as a living conversation with Our Lady, a journey into the mysteries of Christ's life. Through your example, remind me that the rosary is a weapon against evil, a shield in times of weakness, and a song of praise that rises from earth to heaven. Help me to pray it daily with faith and joy, so that each Hail Mary may lift me above my struggles, and each mystery may root me deeper in the love of Christ. Saint Carlo, intercede for me before the throne of God. Ask Mary, our gentle Queen, to wrap me in her mantle of protection, to strengthen my faith in trials, and to grant me the grace of perseverance in prayer. Blessed Carlo, you said that the rosary was your sure companion on the road to holiness. May it also be mine. Through your prayers, may I live with purity, simplicity, and joy, always keeping my eyes on heaven, until the day I join you in eternal glory with Jesus and Mary forever. Amen.